So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. A couple of people coming in now. So I want to welcome you to this evening's session of the Dynamic Courage of Intention group. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming by. And so I'm going to say, first of all, I'm going to say a little bit about how the group actually works and what we do here. And then I'm going to record this part of the session. And then what we'll do is we'll open it up for you all to come in and share what's going on for you, which we won't record. And I will then explain this evening's exercise, and then we will actually do the exercise together. So how does that sound? You can put a mention in the chat, say in the chat, how does that sound to you? Does it sound like a good plan? Let me just hear from you. Great. Good. Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, good. So here's what we do. Every week it's slightly different, but the basic premise is that when we gather together in a group, if we put forward an intention and we focus our thoughts and our healing intentions into that, then we can produce measurable and sometimes miraculous physical and emotional healings. So I've been studying this stuff for a long time, and I've been doing it on myself and running healing groups. And I can tell you that we get extraordinary results. And I'll maybe ask one or two people to share the results that they've had as being in the group later on. So the secret is to have the intention, because then we're able to produce powerful healing effects, both for you and for the other people in the group. So it's very interesting that the science is showing that when we send love and healing to somebody, not only do we heal them, but we also heal ourselves. It's extraordinary, the results of experiments. And I'm going to quote one of my colleagues, a woman called Lynn McTaggart, who's written a book called The Power of Eight. And she has done scientific research and studied all the science behind this, and it is extraordinary. So the first thing that we're going to do here in this group, so whether you are live or whether you're watching this in the replay, what you're going to do is you are going to imagine that we are all sitting in a circle. So, we could have replays of up to who knows how many, 50,000, a million people. It happens. So what I want you to do is to imagine ourselves and all of the people, all of the energy of all of the people who are going to be watching this in the replay, collectively focusing in. And you can do this now in yourself. Just close your eyes for a minute and imagine that there is this huge, massive circle of, like a healing circle of people who are, although we are virtual, we are actually connected, and it works in the same way virtually as it does when we're actually present. So what I want you to do is to imagine now that you're in a circle, that we're all in a circle together. I like circles. I much prefer them than one person at the front, because I'm just the facilitator here, facilitating your healing. And we're all bringing our energy collectively to this. So I want you to imagine now that, to feel that energy of this huge group of people. And let's just take a moment, tune into ourselves. And I want you just to quietly in yourself say that we're going to manifest the highest and best for all present during this session. And then we're going to get more specific about the specific things that you're wanting to heal. So what I find is that there is this mirror effect where we are not only healing ourselves, but when we're sending out intentions for other people, then we're also healing them and ourselves. It's really strange how it happens. But maybe you have a little sense of this. When you have have you had this experience? And we'll discuss this in a minute when I turn the recording off. But have you had the sensation when you do something kind for somebody, like maybe you help an old person across the street, or you go and you take something, you do somebody's shopping for them, or you go out of the way to help one of your friends or somebody in your family or your child or whatever it is, that whoever the people are close to you, do something actively, even a small thing like smiling at somebody in the street, and you know that that makes you feel good inside. It lifts us. And so by sending conscious intention, we're amplifying that. And it's, I know very often people come to these groups with specific issues that they want to heal, like haven't got enough money, or they've got a health issue, or they've got a relationship issue, etc., etc., etc. And certainly sometimes in this group, we go into those things and we have discussion about those things. But the great thing about working at the healing level is that it bypasses the intellectual mind, and we're able to go in at the subatomic, the quantum field level, which is beyond this material form that we're living in. It's amazing. It happens. It really does. So you see, the thing is that we as human beings are not just material. We are also connected to the energy of the universe, whatever you want to call that, whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call it the source, whether you want to call it whatever you want to call it. But that is, if you like, the big mother that gives birth to this material world. Well, there's, of course, a father in there as well, too. Don't want to leave men out of this. But there have been some extraordinary results that show that human thoughts, the way that we think, it doesn't only affect us inside, but it influences the world around us. So this is a fantastic discovery that really, really helps us. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say just by way of introduction now. And then I'm going to just stop the recording for a minute and check in with the people who are actually present here today and see how they are. And then I'm going to come back in and we're going to talk about the actual exercise. So let me just fiddle around with my recordings and things. How do I do that? Okay. So in today's dynamic Courage of Intention group, having just spoken to the people who are present physically, well, not physically, but they're here at this in live time, not just watching the replay. The issue that is coming up is self-belief and how that is affecting people, making people feel anxious, making people also find it difficult to operate in the professions that they've chosen for themselves. So the thing is, how do we heal this? So we're going to go straight into a short meditation healing now. And we're going to focus on this issue of self-belief. And we're going to focus on the people that are present here. So I'm going to ask the people who are present here, what I want you to do is to actually not think about yourself. I want you to think about each other. And for those people who are watching this in the replay, what you're also going to do is you're going to send remote healing to all the people who are going to watch this in the future, who watch the replay, who are suffering from low self-belief and confidence issue and anxiety issues. So for those of you who are present in lifetime, what you're going to do is focus on sending intentional healing to the people that are present. So you're not going to think about healing yourself here. You're going to just think about sending your energy to heal the people that are present in this live situation or the people who are watching the replay. That is what we're doing here. So now I'm going to just pause this again. Okay, well, so what I want you to do is to now just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just let yourself relax. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your attention down into your tummy area and watch the movement of the breath as your stomach comes in and out. I want you to be aware of going right to the end of each breath and then watching how your body brings the air in on the next breath. So you keep your shoulders relaxed, you keep your face relaxed, your forehead, all your tummy muscles. Just allow yourself to breathe into this space now. So you're going to think now of the people who are present in this session, and also all the people who are going to be watching this in the replay. And you've all come here because you're challenged with self-belief, low self-confidence, which leads to anxiety in the things that you're wanting to do, not being able to believe in yourself in order to achieve the things that you want in your careers, in your relationships. So keep breathing, keeping your eyes shut. What you're going to do now is imagine sending healing, sending your love and healing to the people who are present in this in lifetime, but also to the people who are present in the replay. So those presents, first of all, think of the people who have spoken in this session today and send them your love and send them healing. What I want you to do is to imagine that they are jumping up and down, leaping around with joy because they have achieved something that they want to achieve. They're just feeling really, really great within themselves. Send that energy now to the people who are present in this recording. And also to all the people who are watching it in the replay. So you can imagine all of these people feeling the love of this group, leading to them jumping up and down with joy, like, yay, I've done it. You know, I've got it. I've managed to do it. Whatever the thing is, that is the thing you're wanting to achieve. Or you're just jumping up and down, feeling really good, feeling really confident, knowing that the people you're sending this love to have the ability to be, do, and have whatever they set their minds to. Knowing that The universe has sent you this challenge because it knows that you have the ability to achieve it. The universe doesn't make mistakes. The universe doesn't try to trick us. It's a harmonious, loving universe. And it sends us these challenges so that we can grow, so that we can become more than we are, so that we can serve greater, so we can help more people, more animals, create more beauty, more truth, have better relationships, have more love. So you're sending your energy now to the people in this group and also to the people that are going to be watching the replay. So you can imagine in your mind's eye this like huge circle now of people who are watching the replay, who are all leaping up and down or just sitting there smiling because they feel really good. They know in every single cell, every of their bodies that they are capable, they are able. That all thoughts of lack of self-belief are now dissolved. You just imagine this ricocheting out from this live session. We're now sending this vibration out to the hundreds and thousands of people who may watch this video in the future as I post it on Instagram and YouTube and the various places that we are going to put it. Allow yourself to breathe fully and deeply. And know that this is your true state of being. Know that the universe wants you to become all that you can become. And that's why it's given you this challenge of low self-belief, because it wants you to grow so that it's able to benefit from you stretching and being able to be of service to more people, to create more harmony, more love in the universe. See if you can feel that connection now with the people who are present in the live group and also the people who are present in the replay. Great. So now taking another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose. Bring your energy in, call your energy back into you. Swallow, feel your fingers, pat your body down a bit, move your shoulders. And when you're ready, come back into the room and I want to hear how it has gone. What happened? So I'm going to stop the recording. So I've been hearing from the people now who've just done the meditation and they're describing feelings of being uplifted, of joy, and we also talked about how the communication sometimes with an animal can also be incredibly healing and can sometimes give you that sparkling kind of energetic kind of tingling feeling. And certainly when we were doing this meditation a moment ago, I felt, as I always do in these groups, this huge vibration going through me as I'm imagining this whole group of us, and we are feeling this vibration of joy and sending intentional love to each other, healing to each other. And so what I was explaining to the people who are present here today is that you can call on that feeling at any time. Whenever you are feeling anxious, whenever you are feeling that lack of self-belief, whenever you're feeling like your confidence is really wobbling. But here's the key. When it's coming up, we very often forget to do this exercise. So we go back into that old defaulted position, that old place where, I don't know, I certainly know for me that I spent so many years of my life in that place of feeling anxious, low self-worth, not believing in myself. And so it's almost like I go straight back there, and I have to consciously take myself out of it. And that takes a lot of energy. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about one of the teachers that I follow that some of you may already know, but if you don't, please go and check him out because his work is absolutely huge. What he's doing, he's healing so many people. And his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about how he healed himself. He healed of a triathlon accident where he broke his spine in several different places. So what he did was he imagined each vertebra healing. He'd lay on his, I think he was on his stomach for like 6 weeks, and he would go back to the beginning and he would imagine each vertebra healing. And then when he lost his concentration, he would then make himself go back to the beginning. And it took him several weeks to be able to imagine the whole thing changing, the whole vertebra changing. And then once he was able to do that, he realized, yes, he was on the healing path. And indeed he was. And he was able to walk out of the hospital himself after a few weeks, after 12 weeks, I think it took him. And the doctors who he had seen had told him that he would probably never, ever walk again unless he had a metal plate in his back. So what he did, which is kind of like what I did too, although I didn't have a physical accident, I had the emotional breakdown that I think some of you identify with. And the thing about the emotional breakdown, well, I call it a breakthrough, is that you can't see it on the outside. You can't even see it in an X-ray, but it's there and it's just as severe in an emotional way as a physical, breaking of the spine. The good news is that this process works for the emotional healing in the same way that it does for the physical healing. So that you, me, you, all of us have the ability to change this and to heal this, but you have to stay conscious. You have to have the intention, and you have to understand that when you are growing, these negative feelings are going to come up. So one person here today was sharing that she is training to become a coach and that there was a lot of lack of self-belief. Low self-belief was coming up in this process of training. And I completely understand that because you've put yourself in a new situation. You're demanding more of yourself. The universe is asking you to grow into this new person. And so the old negative messages are coming up to stop you. So what you can do is you can consciously take the vibration that we've just had in this meditation, just take that vibration, hold it inside you whenever those feelings come up. So could you please now, and that's also the people who are watching this in the replay, could you please just imagine the feelings of joy, well-being, upliftment just take a moment now to really focus on that. So if you've got an animal that you love in your life and that makes you feel really happy, or you've got children that make you feel really happy, or you're a musician or an artist, or you could imagine being at the top of a mountain, or being a singer, or whatever it is that actually is really where you feel empowered and you feel dynamic and you feel like, yes, I've done this, I've got it, I've really, yeah, here we are, I've achieved this, I can do this. Take that inside you, that feeling now. Could you please do that now? Just embody that feeling with yourself right now. And that's what you have to hold. That is the feeling that you have to hold within yourself when all those negative feelings come up. And it's hard work. I'll just share a little bit of my own story here because that may be useful, and then we're going to finish up with another brief meditation here. But I remember when I moved into a new flat. This was in the 90s, so it's going back quite a long time. But I remember I moved into a flat, and I was so low at that time. I felt so low. And you know what? It took me something like 6 weeks to unpack all the boxes. The boxes, the suitcases, everything. I was so low. My energy was so low. And looking back now, I realized what was going on for me was that I was completely changing my life. I wasn't only changing my flat, I was completely changing my life. And my energy was being taken up with the psychological and emotional changes going on inside. And actually, that went on for quite a long time that I was in this process of changing, like challenging old belief patterns, challenging the way and slowly it changed. In contrast to when I moved recently, and I cleared a 3-bedroomed house out and moved everything to a new apartment, and I did it in 2 weeks, everything. I mean, that was a much bigger, 3-bedroomed house, whereas this was only a few boxes. So it's because I feel well, and that is what, and feel confident and happy, and that's what you all have the ability to feel, to do, to have, to be, all of that, absolutely, and more, and